It's 61 degrees in San Jose at 5:18. Supervisors blowing smoke in Smoker's Way, airline extortion stopped by FBI, communists keeping moving in South Vietnam. Those stories and more upcoming.
I'm Robin McGovern.
And I'm Karen McGovern for KLIV News. The Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors are cracking down on smokers. By 4-to-1 vote today, the supervisors decided to have a no-smoking ordinance drafted. The new anti-smoking law would affect unincorporated areas of Santa Clara County, specifically theaters, hospitals, and require public places to provide no-smoking areas. Only the cities of Palo Alto and Santa Clara presently have no smoking ordinances. Anyone caught violating the proposed new law would face a $50 fine. Voters in Santa Clara continue heading to the polls now, but according to the Santa Clara City Clerk's office, voter turnout is very light. There are 27,000 registered voters in the Mission District. Santa Clara voters are deciding on 4 councilmen, 1 new police chief, and whether or not to spend some money for a community theater. The polls are open until 7 tonight in Santa Clara. FBI agents are involved in a high-speed chase which ended with the arrest of a 41-year-old Southern California man. The man was charged with attempted extortion of United Airlines. According to FBI agent John Morrison, the man said he placed a bomb on board the plane.
Richard Cornish Hutchison was arrested by FBI agents following a threat to United Airlines Los Angeles early yesterday, wherein he alleged he had placed explosives aboard a United Airlines DC-10 aircraft in flight to New York and demanded $200,000 for information on deactivating the bomb. Hutchison was arrested following a high-speed chase through the West Los Angeles area after picking up a package allegedly containing the money.
The suspect denied placing explosives on the plane, and the United Airlines plane landed safely at JFK Airport.
Mr. Hutchison is separated and the father of 3 children. He resides on Inglewood Avenue in Lenox, and he will be charged with the making of a false report of a bomb aboard an aircraft and obstruction of interstate commerce by extortion.
The FBI reporting the arrest of a man accused of extortion of United Airlines. KLIV News time is 5:21.
Right now, all 3 locations of San Jose Stereotape, Northern California's largest...
South Vietnamese forces have abandoned 3 provincial capitals to tank-led North Vietnamese forces in the past 24 hours. The latest city to fall is Nang Thong. It is in increasingly jittery Saigon. Pressure is mounting on President Tu. Another major political figure in South Vietnam's government, a prominent senator, has demanded Thu's ouster. President Lon Nol of Cambodia tearfully went into exile today. He flew out of the besieged capital of Phnom Penh, heading for Indonesia, in a move that may pave the way for negotiations between the remnants of his shattered government and communist-led rebels. But even as he left, communists intensified their attacks on government positions. I'm getting a little tongue-tied, Rob. Why don't you read the next one?
All right, the next story. Authorities in San Jose say pipe bombs set off at a PG&E substation last week sent oil spilling into nearby water storage ponds and coated waterfowl. 4 waterfowl were killed and another 20 rescued and cleaned following the explosion of 5 pipe bombs last Thursday at the Hicks substation. About 600 gallons of the light oil used to cool electrical equipment spilled from the ruptured pipes in the explosions, but it was not known how much actually got into the ponds. Returning now with Karen McGovern.
Thank you. A man resembling fugitive newspaper heiress Patty Hearst was the object of an intense pre-dawn search today in northwestern West Virginia. It was the 2nd time in a month that police in West Virginia have pressed into search involving the Hearst case. The report came from a woman's service station owner who said she saw a girl resembling Miss Hearst and another girl about 12:30 a.m. State troopers fanned out over the area but found no trace of the late model car the girls were driving. Prospective jurors in the murder trial of 2 Simeonese Liberation Army soldiers were warned today by the defense not to prejudge the defendants by their association with the revolutionary terrorists. As attorney Ed Merrill put it, they didn't condemn everybody in the Republican Party because of Watergate. The defendants, Russell Little and Joseph Romero, watched the jury selection in a closed-circuit television in a basement holding cell. The pair is on trial for the murder of Oakland School's Chief Marcus Foster. Jury selection is in its 2nd day. Watergate prosecutors say they will use a key White House tape recording as evidence against former Treasury Secretary John Connally in this bribery trial. Connolly is charged with accepting $10,000 from a milk producers cooperative in return for his help in getting a 1971 increase in federal price support for raw milk. Jury selection is expected to be completed tomorrow. The rule requiring young American men to register for the draft within 1 month of their 18th birthday was abolished today. Selective Service officials say it soon will be replaced by a once-a-year registration system, of which the exact details remain to be worked out. The new system is to be announced later in the year, with the first mass registration in early 1976. The number of men participating in all 3 parts of President Ford's earned amnesty program for Vietnam War registers, evaders, and deserters who may wind up close to 25,000. Clemency Board officials say it will take them a while to add in the final flurry of applicants who beat the midnight Monday deadline for applying for application in the program. The program gives Vietnam-era registers and deserters a chance to receive a presidential pardon and clemency after completing up to 2 years of alternative service. A Texas court jury has found Ignacio KLIV guilty of capital murder in the death of a woman hostage during an attempted breakout of the Texas State Prison last summer. The jury deliberated 2 hours and 10 minutes before returning the verdict in Houston. KLIV could be sentenced to die in the electric chair. The jury will decide the penalty, life imprisonment or death. KLIV was tried for the murder of Mrs. Juliet Stanley during the prison breakout attempt with 2 other convicts in August at Huntsville. 1 other hostage and 2 other convicts were killed. KLIV news time is 5:26. KLIV sports reports coming.
The Speed Merchant does it again.
Turning now to KLIV sports reports. The San Jose Earthquakes making an important announcement today about a disc jockey we all know and love. Earthquake spokesman Tom Mertens telling KLIV Sports.
Today the Earthquakes have the pleasure to announce that KLIV's Bob Ray has joined our broadcast team for the radio broadcast of our home and away games. Bob, who's a pretty familiar voice in the stadiums at the Earthquake games, both indoors and outdoors, is going to be doing a pregame and a postgame show, locker room show, after every game, so our fans who aren't able to make it out to the stadium are going to be able to hear everything that the players feel, as well as how Bob Ray, one of the closest people to the Earthquake, feels about every single game that we play this outdoor season.
The Earthquakes outdoor season getting underway April 19th.
Honey, I forgot to tell you something. We've got to check in with Dan Ruby to find out about Dan Ruby Sports.
This is Dan Ruby. One of the scariest things going on in sports is the public's apparent acceptance of the 1975 version of the Super Promotion. Muhammad Ali and his Chuck Wepner fight was an example. A nothing bit of entertainment sold to a gullible public as a sports event. We've had Evel Knievel advertising he tried a motorcycle jump a canyon in Idaho when actually he had a rocket, and a bad one at that. Now, tennis is in the act. In the $100,000 match between Rod Laver and Jimmy Connors recently in Vegas, Connors' manager screamed beforehand that he'd pull out if Pancho Gonzalez were the referee. When it was all over, the manager admitted the question was settled before the beef. Screaming was purely for publicity purposes. Wepner was a joke against Ali. Knievel misled the public when he said 200,000 would watch his jump and he'd make $1 million. All hogbush. But it's as P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every minute, and most of them seem to be sports fans.
Now more sports. The California Golden Seals visit the Vancouver Canucks, and the Los Angeles Kings visit the Kansas City Scouts in National Hockey League action tonight. The Los Angeles Lakers are hosting the Portland Trail Blazers in the NBA game at the Forum in Inglewood tonight. The Golden State Warriors, meanwhile, are idle until they visit Phoenix Friday night. A third heavyweight bout between Muhammad Ali and Ken Norton, the ex-Marine who broke Ali's jaw 2 years ago, is probable this year, according to Norton's co-manager. He told sports writers at a San Diego news conference, quote, "I have every reason to believe that Ali will fight Norton." It's currently 61 degrees at KLIV Studios. Santa Clara Valley weather, mostly fair skies through tomorrow. Today is KLIV Wise Day. Looking at the clock, I think it's time to end the news, and I don't want to take Rob off. So this is Robin McGovern reporting for KLIV News, and returning you now to the Liz Ray Show.
Editorial.
Yesterday, we broadcast a free speech message by the friend of